The rise of Timur, from Uzbekistan to empire. Timur was born in 1336 near Samarkand in modern-day Uzbekistan. He came from a Turkic-Mongol tribe. As a young man, he showed great skill in battle. These qualities helped him rise to power quickly. Timur started as a small-time warlord. He fought for various rulers in Central Asia, but he had bigger dreams. In 1370, he took control of Samarkand. This city became the capital of his growing empire. Timur was ambitious and ruthless. He conquered lands from India to Turkey. His army was fierce and loyal. By 1400, Timur ruled a vast territory. His empire stretched from Delhi to Damascus. He was now ready for his most famous conquest, Baghdad. Timur was known for his cruel tactics in war. He didn't just want to win battles, he wanted to strike fear into his enemies. Timur used terror as a weapon, making many cities surrender without a fight. Those who resisted faced terrible consequences. One of Timur's favorite tactics was mass slaughter. After conquering a city, he would often kill all the men. Women and children were taken as slaves. Artisans were sent back to Samarkand to beautify his capital. Timur also used psychological warfare. He would send spies ahead of his army to spread rumors about his cruelty. This made people afraid to fight back. Many rulers chose to submit to Timur rather than face his wrath. Another tactic was Timur's use of siege warfare. He was a master at breaking city defenses. His army used advanced weapons like trebuchets. These could hurl huge rocks at city walls. Timur also used tunnels to undermine defenses. His sieges were often short but devastating. In 1401, Timur turned his attention to Baghdad. This city was the capital of the Jalayirid dynasty and a symbol of Islamic culture. Baghdad had been the center of the Islamic world for centuries. Now it faced its greatest threat. Timur's army arrived outside Baghdad in the summer. The city was not prepared for such a large force. Baghdad's ruler, Sultan Ahmad Jalayirid, fled the city. This left the people to face Timur alone. The siege began with Timur's usual tactics of intimidation. The people of Baghdad tried to resist. They manned the walls and fought bravely, but Timur's army was too strong. They used catapults to break down the walls. Soldiers dug tunnels under the defenses. The siege lasted just 40 days. Then the city's defenses crumbled. The fall of Baghdad was swift and brutal. When Timur's army entered Baghdad, the destruction was immense. Buildings that had stood for centuries were torn down, mosques, libraries, and palaces were burned. The Great House of Wisdom, a famous library, was destroyed. Countless books and manuscripts were lost forever. Timur's soldiers killed thousands of people. Some say as many as 20,000 defenders died. Timur ordered 120 towers to be built from human heads. The city's wealth was looted. Gold, jewels, and art were taken. Skilled workers were forced to go to Samarkand. Timur wanted to make his capital even grander. Baghdad, once the pride of the Islamic world, was now a ruin. Its population was decimated. It would take centuries for Baghdad to recover from Timur's attack. The siege of Baghdad wasn't just about physical destruction. It also caused a huge cultural loss. Baghdad had been a center of learning for centuries. It was home to great scholars, poets, and artists. Many of these talented people were killed or taken away. Libraries full of ancient knowledge were burned. Books on science, math, and philosophy were lost. The House of Wisdom, which had collected works from all over the world, was gone. This was a blow to Islamic and world culture. Many ideas and discoveries were lost forever. Beautiful buildings were also destroyed. Mosques with intricate tile work were ruined. Palaces with amazing gardens were torn down. The loss of skilled craftsmen was another blow. Timur took the best artists and builders to Samarkand. It would take a long time for these skills to return. Timur was a complex figure. He was known for his brutal conquests, but he was also a patron of the arts. This contradiction puzzled many people. How could someone so cruel also love beauty? In his capital of Samarkand, Timur built amazing things. He created grand mosques and palaces. The city was filled with gardens and fountains. Timur brought artists and scholars from all over his empire. He wanted Samarkand to be the most beautiful city in the world. Timur also loved literature and history. He kept historians at his court to record his deeds. He enjoyed poetry and philosophical discussions. Timur saw himself as a cultured ruler, not just a warrior. He wanted to be remembered as a great leader. One of Timur's most infamous tactics was building pyramids of skulls. After conquering a city, he would order these gruesome monuments to be made. The skulls of the defeated enemies were piled high. These towers could be seen from far away. The purpose of these skull pyramids was clear. They were meant to terrify people. Timur wanted his enemies to give up without a fight. The sight of thousands of skulls was a powerful warning. It showed what happened to those who resisted Timur. In Baghdad, Timur took this tactic to new heights. He ordered 120 towers of skulls to be built. Each tower contained about 1,500 heads. The scale of this act was shocking even for that time. These skull pyramids became a symbol of Timur's rule. They were a physical representation of his cruelty. The destruction of Baghdad had long-lasting effects on the region. The city had been a major center of trade and learning. Its fall created a power vacuum. This changed the balance of power in the Middle East for centuries. The loss of Baghdad's libraries and scholars set back Islamic science and philosophy. Many important works were lost forever. The tradition of learning that Baghdad represented was broken. It took a long time for other cities to take on this role. Economically, the region suffered greatly. Baghdad had been a hub of trade routes. With its destruction, these routes changed. Other cities grew in importance. The wealth that had flowed through Baghdad now went elsewhere. The psychological impact was also significant. Timur's brutality left a lasting mark on the collective memory of the region. Timur's legacy is a complicated one. He is remembered as one of history's great conquerors. His military achievements are undeniable. He built an empire that stretched across much of Asia, but he is also remembered for his extreme cruelty. In Central Asia, Timur is often seen as a hero. He is celebrated for his strength and vision. Many see him as the founder of their nations. Statues of Timur can be found in Uzbekistan and other countries. His name is used for streets and institutions. However, in other parts of the world, Timur is viewed differently. In the Middle East and India, he is remembered as a brutal invader. The destruction he caused is not forgotten. Historians continue to debate Timur's place in history. Timur remains a fascinating and controversial figure centuries after his death.